Good evening, Central. It's a privilege to be able to be with you here tonight, sharing tonight's devotional, especially on just a midweek devotion, thinking about Clay's sermon on Sunday as he continues a sermon series on Daniel, just bigger than Babylon. And the title of last week's Sunday sermon was Long Obedience in the Same Direction. And as we cover Daniel 9, chapter 9, 20 through 27, a lot of it again was angled at this long obedience and desire to trust in God when things are just seeming so uh, hard and God maybe even feeling a little distant. And two sermon application questions that Clay gave for the church. Again, if you don't have those questions, I know that you can either pick them up or you can ask for them and we give you those, or as well as you can get them online. But one of the questions that had me really reflect was, how does keeping our eyes lifted to the ultimate glorious plan of God help us walk in faithfulness today? And trusting that God has this ultimate plan and God has the ultimate victory. And there is a day that we get to be with him fully, with all those that have that full connection and faith in God, brings a lot of hope. And especially in hard times, it reminded me a lot of my time with my dad, especially at the end of his life. He passed away about 8 years ago now. And just the ways that seeing God be able to share with my family, the ways that we came together and really loved him in his long season of just physical decline. And that picture of how God walked alongside my family is something that we're going through again now with my mom. And keeping our eyes fixed on that ultimate glorious plan that God has for all of us has allowed us to just continue to faithfully walk alongside my mom in this season. And it's not been easy. I think that just seeing just a desire for God to just bring comfort, to bring peace and presence, and what he wants in my mom's life right now, especially with declining health, just some memory distortion, just different things that she doesn't have independence anymore. There's a season here where she just wants to be with her maker. And we all want that for her, as she has been that spiritual rock for our family. But I have two other siblings, older sister and younger sister. And as we continue to walk alongside my mom at this time, thinking about how, again, he was faithful to us in the path that we had with my dad. How are we going to trust him in these times when it's growing more and more difficult watching my mom go through this at this time in her life? And that led to another question of, what might it take to walk with the Lord in a community with his people when God and his promises seem distant? And that's been such the encouragement, just having such support from my own family with Annie and the kids, being able to go up to Chicago and take care of and spend time with my mom while Annie spent time with the kids, taking care of them here, and just the church and being able to share this with others and knowing that people are lifting that up in prayer and really giving support and just good advice, because not everyone's experiences are the same, but I know everyone's had similar experiences and feelings of just wanting to be there for a loved one. And just again, how to walk alongside well with presence, with care, with the right way to point people to God. And with that feeling of distance from, why is God not answering our prayers right now? I remember actually what my mom shared with me when we were going through this with my dad, and she shared Psalm 13. And Psalm 13 says this: "How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I take counsel in my soul and have sorrow in my heart all the day? How long shall my enemy be exalted over me? Consider and answer me, O Lord my God. Lift up my eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death. Lest my enemies say, I have prevailed over him. Lest my foes rejoice because I am shaken. But I have trusted in your steadfast love. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. I'll sing to the Lord because he has dealt bountifully with me. Like I said, last week, I had an opportunity just to spend time with my mom. And just that time with her would be time that I'll treasure, especially just in that presence. And it wasn't easy, especially just taking care of my mom and spending the time really, again, just doing all the things that I could to really help her in this season. But reading this scripture with her, again, was just a great reminder of how it feels like God is distant. And we can share that lament with God before him because he wants us to point that lament to him. And we can share that feeling like, God, why are you so distant? Why does it feel like you're so distant? It feels like the enemy is going to overtake us. But I trust in your everlasting love, your faithful, steadfast love. My heart rejoices because we know that ultimate plan and goal that God has for us. And sitting with my mom and just reading the scripture and praying together, we have in sight that long obedience in the same direction. So for all of us, if we continue to consider how God is shaping and moving and guiding us with the scripture and teaching and community that we have here at Central, may we lean into God and continue to see that he's right here present for each one of us